Hi, Jane Sjuts here with Peace Coaching Worldwide. I thought I'd stop by today and talk with you a little bit about a book that I'm reading. It's called Invisible Wounds by Kay Douglas, The Help and Hope and Healing for Women in Abusive Relationships or Recovery. In this book, she is addressing women in particular, codependent women who are in abusive relationships. And she talks about, in this book, about how a codependent woman can lose herself. And I thought it was kind of interesting when I was thinking about that. I remembered a story about how you boil a frog. You don't put a frog into boiling water. They'll jump out. So what you do is you put a pot of water on the stove, cold water, and then you put the frog in. The frog likes the water, it's comfortable, and then you start turning up the heat. Little by little, degree by degree, you start turning up the heat, and the frog doesn't notice that it's getting hotter and hotter, and before you know it, the frog is being boiled. Well, it's kind of that way with being in an abusive relationship. At the beginning of a relationship with an abusive person, things are going great, and then there might be an incident that happens and the heat starts getting to be turned up. There's some criticism. There might be name calling, something like that. And at first, a codependent woman may decide, I'm going to have some boundaries with this because, this isn't right. It's not right, so you start saying something. But then that can backfire in the way that it starts an argument. So little by little, these things keep happening, and eventually the codependent woman, who is a people pleaser, decides, well, to keep the peace, I'm just not going to say anything. Okay, you've given away your voice. Pretty soon, a little bit more happens and a little bit more, and you just keep giving away, trying to please, to please the other person so that this doesn't happen again. Now maybe you're walking on eggshells, and it just goes on, and before you know it, you have given yourself away. He has sold you a line of goods that you are buying. You're buying that you're not good enough, that everything is your fault, and you have no voice left because you don't want to rock the boat. You want to keep the peace, and pretty soon you have nothing left of yourself because you've given it all away. You have bought the lies that you're not good enough, and you have no peace left, and you feel hopeless. But there is hope. The hope and the help and the healing is learning to understand that you are lovable and worthy of being treated nicely and being treated with respect. And when we can learn that to love ourselves, and we learn that for sure, that we know that for sure, then we can start having boundaries again and standing up and saying, okay, this is not going to happen anymore. Because when we don't stand up for ourselves, we are actually part of the problem. We are enabling that other person, the abusive person, to continue to abuse us. That's a hard nut to swallow. It's a hard lesson, and it's not easy because it feels mean sometimes or out of character to not try to want to keep the peace. And it's not a matter of being nasty back to that person or anything. It's a matter of standing up for yourself and taking responsibility for taking care of yourself. And when we do that, we start to gain our self-respect back. And when we have our self-respect, then at that point in time, we know that we are worthy of being loved and being treated nicely. And when we know that, then we can have some peace. We can start taking ourselves back. And that is a good day. So that's all I wanted to say today. I hope you can find some little nugget of something that might be helpful for you, something to think about. And if you ever want to stop by and talk, I'd be happy to talk with you. Thanks. Have a great day.